Even before tools, plants were one of humanity's original technologies, and dreams were one of our first laboratories. Tonight, we're going to look into the science of plants and how they affect lucid dreaming. This is a traditional nighttime herbal tea inspired by centuries of shared folk knowledge and botanical practice. These plants appear in many cultures all over the world. They're commonly associated with evening rituals, reflection, rest, sleep, and dreams. Today, we have access to global ingredients and generations of accumulated herbal tradition, something our ancestors could only imagine. This blend brings those traditions into a single modern nighttime tea. These herbs have appeared in folk traditions, temple practices, monastic medicine, and household remedies for generations, not so much as substances as much as companions. They're some of our first teachers, each being imbued with its own spirit, its own lessons, and offering its own unique reflection. Mugwort is one of the most widespread ritual plants in human history. It can probably be found growing near you within walking distance from your house. It's been used in European folk medicine, East Asian medicine, and indigenous dream traditions. It appears everywhere humans have tried to understand the boundary between waking life and sleep. Damiana is from Central and South America. It's been used in Mayan folk medicine. It's said to ease tension while keeping the mind alert. This is why it's been valued by dreamers. This is valerian root. It's a cornerstone of European monastery tradition. It was a staple in medieval apothecaries and is well known in traditional Western herbalism. It just might be one of Europe's most renowned nighttime medicines, and as a restless person, it's one of my favorites. Lemon balm was used in Renaissance medicine as a nervous system tonic, associated with calm focus, emotional balance, and evening time teas. It's been said to gladden the heart and focus the mind. You can probably see why it's been commonly used by lucid dreamers. You could call lavender the scent of sleep and relaxation itself. It's known by just about everyone, and was actually the first herb I ever learned of as a child that had aromatherapy properties. My aunt used to use it for migraines. The idea that scent alone could soothe someone seemed like magic to me back then. And the fact that adults I trusted told me that it was true was one of the moments that triggered a lifelong fascination with herbalism in me. Chamomile is the nighttime tea. It's the grandmother of dream herbs. It's used all over the world now and can be found in the average household these days, but its roots are in Egyptian and European medicine. Camellia zacatechinchi is a personal favorite, perhaps even my #1 favorite dream herb. If you're familiar with my channel, you'd assume my favorite is mugwort, but it's camellia. The only downside to me is the taste is so bitter it's hardly tolerable. Commonly known as Mexican dream herb, it's been associated with dream rituals and interpretation for longer than I know. Blue lotus is sacred to Egypt and difficult to acquire. It's been used in teas, incense, smoking blends, wine infusions, and tinctures to facilitate relaxation and visionary states. Sadly, the market has been flooded with counterfeit blue lotus. Typically, the petals from another flower just dyed blue. Across continents, we've turned to plants, not as a means of escaping reality, but in an attempt to understand it. In modern times, we've come to understand sleep on a different level, and we now know that it occurs in cycles. So now we know that sleep comes in 4 stages. We have light sleep, where you experience hypnagogia, which is where the images of the dream start to come through, but you're not fully asleep and you're not dreaming yet. Then you have stable light sleep, you have deep sleep, and you have REM sleep. And the REM sleep is where the dreams happen, and that's where most lucid dreamers are going to want to do their best work. The full sleep cycle is 90 to about 110 minutes, and they repeat, I think it's 4 to 6 times a night. But they don't go evenly. It's not like 90, 90, 90, 90. The REM sleep gets longer with each cycle. So early in the night, you're getting more of your deep sleep, but later in the night, you're getting more REM sleep. And that's where I get most of my lucid dreams from, and I know I'm not the only one. Now, I think the 2 most important cycles for lucid dreamers are the REM sleep cycle, of course, but The second most important is actually light sleep, or hypnagogia, training yourself to recognize when the images are coming. That's usually when you start to go into what I describe as passive dreaming, when you're not lucid. And when you catch yourself there, that's when you realize, like, oh, like I was kind of disappearing. Like when I'm in hypnagogia, I don't really even have a body. Sometimes it's just a still image, and I don't really know that I'm there anymore. My brain's just perceiving something, and I'm not really a part of it unless I become presently aware that I am becoming a part of it. And that's when I get to use the wake into lucid dream technique, which is the hardest technique, but if you're good at lucid dreaming, it's very reliable. So I've talked to hundreds of people now, if not thousands, about lucid dreaming. I've studied it in a school where we went and we spent 4 months living in the school practicing lucid dreaming, studying the science of lucid dreaming, as well as the more mystical aspects of lucid dreaming. And what we found for most people working in that school is the wake back to bed technique, very reliable, especially for any skill level, but for beginners, it's great. And for that, you just go to sleep normally and you sleep 4 to 6 hours, and then you wake up, and then you try to stay relaxed, and then you do the wake induced lucid dream technique, or wake initiated lucid dream technique. So it stands to mind, keeping all that in mind, it stands to reason that the more appropriate tea before bed, if you're just going to fall asleep naturally, would be things like the lavender, the chamomile, the lemon balm, a light bit of damiana, and valerian root is used by some, and others think that it's not the best idea because it's said that it can interfere with your ability to have clarity and recall in your dreams. So there's pros and cons. It can help you sleep, but it might also interfere with the lucid dreaming. Then, after falling asleep and staying asleep for 4 to 6 hours on average, that's the best time to do the wake back to bed technique. There's an app out there I haven't used in years. It hopefully still exists. It's called Lucid Waker. If you can't find it, there might be another one like it. But all it is an alarm that you set for 4 to 6 hours after you fall asleep. And it wakes you up, but you don't have to roll over or open your eyes to turn it off or anything. It just plays for a little while and turns itself off. That way you can stay in the relaxed hypnagogic state. And that's very, very valuable. But it would be during that wake back to bedtime. That's when it might be more appropriate to do the more lucid dream specific herbs like the camellia, the blue lotus, the mugwort, and a little bit of the damiana. And again, pros and cons with valerian, but valerian might be a better idea around this time because it will prevent you from waking up too much. And that is the whole point of this technique, is to not wake up and be, alert again. It's about being in a dreamlike state that you can stay conscious of, and then watch yourself fall into REM sleep, which you'll probably do pretty quickly if you wake up during this time of the night. I've described hypnagogia before as being, like I said, that flat, still image, and I'll see it, and when I become aware, I can feel my body in bed, and that image will become crystallized, and I'll start to feel a sinking feeling. I'm going through like a deck of cards, like images, 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 until it just kind of snaps all of a sudden into a 3D space, and I'm back in a physical form in my dream body, or like in my mind, however you want to perceive it. And that's when I can have the best lucid dreams. And it's always in the later part of the night during the REM cycle, or leading into the REM cycle rather. And from there, I can do whatever I want. And I usually just like to fly around. But if I'm working on myself, that's a great time to talk to dream characters, because dream characters are a direct access to your subconscious mind. So they know things about me that I don't know about me consciously. When I talk to a dream character, they can just tell me about myself and the way my mind works, the things I'm struggling with in life, what I should do next. And that's where the real value of lucid dreaming comes into play here, where it becomes more than just recreation. It becomes a tool for personal development and bettering your life in ways that I don't think anything else really can. And none of this is one size fits all. I've been practicing lucid dreaming for 17 years, and I started using the Herbal assistants about 12 years ago, and I've been experimenting with it and journaling and trying different things that entire time, and I'm always refining my knowledge and practice there. So I found the most value in honoring the traditions of our ancestors, these people who I believe had real wisdom, as well as integrating the scientific and modern understanding of sleep, dreams, and sleep cycles. And I've learned most of these techniques, like the mnemonic-induced lucid dreaming, the reality checks, wake-induced lucid dreaming, wake back to bed technique. All those things are from online forums when I was a teenager. And then we use the same exact techniques in the lucid dreaming school. So all that information is out there for you. But if you'd like me to do a full video breaking down all those techniques, of course, I'm happy to do it. Just let me know in the comments. So like most things in alchemy and in nature and in life, they happen in cycles. We sleep in cycles. I've been going through this work with lucid dreaming for the past 17 years. And every time I revisit it from the beginning and try again, I learn more, I refine more, and I distill down my practice into its purest form. And it's always changing and evolving. And I don't think that's ever going to stop. I think that will keep happening the rest of my life. So you can kind of consider this an update on the mugwort video I made 5 years ago that got pretty popular. And I will be doing another mugwort video soon, this time using my distillation kit and trying different extraction, but this time using my distillation kit and trying different extraction techniques and old alchemical techniques and examining the science of mugwort from an alchemical standpoint as well as a modern day scientific standpoint. And if you want to see a little more about my thoughts on alchemy and get some insights into what I'm doing here in the lab, here's a video on how I think alchemy works. All right, thanks for spending some time with me this evening. Have a good night.